Another day, another strange battery, and a request to have a look at this. Looks a bit rude. It's a battery for I think it's for a bath lift of some kind. Let's have a look at that. You can see by that I've already had it open, and the slash marks down my hand. I'll show you how I did that in a second. 16.8 volts, it's supposed to be. Charging ports on the end there, 2.1 jack, probably the outputs for that. This is a kind of soft rubber kind of thing. So it started off with the trusted spoon, the old puncture spoon. So you can lift that off, and there's all glue down the sides. The slash down my hand, of course, caused by our old friend, the sharp screwdriver. It's getting in there. Out. So forgive the bloody hands. As I can see, I've already been inside this. Put that in there. Hold on. The arm's too big. Okay, put it like that. See, that came off. It's just some glue holding it together. Showing a 14 AA pack, 16.8 volts. So the first thing I'm going to do is just open up the 4 screws in there and see if there's any life in the battery. I don't think it will. So the guy came in looking for a charger and trying to put some charge in, nothing happened. So I said, you'll have to leave it with us. Maybe I can do it in my own time. So I'll be back after I've taken the screws out of that. Hopefully I'll slash in my hands again. Okay, so that's the screws off of this little unit. Let's check the voltage and see what we have. Something now, come on. 2.5 volts out of a 14 volt pack. Okay, first order would be make a new battery pack for it. Okay, so until then, there's not much else I can show you. I can show you that if you want. Apparently this is a Minivator make. Apparently these things are no longer made. As with quite a few of these things, I mean, the manufacturers no longer exist or no longer make parts, spare parts, etc. Can you see that? Is there anything interesting on there? A couple of relays maybe. The caps and some SMD components are, yeah. We've already seen the other side. So first order, I'll get rid of that. I may even just put the 14 volts across this, just to see if it springs back into life. But for now, we'll pause that one. So we can, one thing of interest, I was just checking the leads or the connection, what wire goes to where from that input jack into these 2 wires on the battery. I was hoping that was going to be the brown one. You see that? That's got a diode in there. So it's not on the board side. So there must be something in. Get that in the camera. Get in there, John. There must be a diode in there. On the other side, which goes to the black. That's just so the black is straight through, but there's a diode on this side, which I would have thought if you couldn't plug a charger into that, if there's a diode there, it probably wouldn't work. It's probably just a straight power supply. Don't know, not yet anyway. We'll come back to that in due course. Out the way. So that's the pack liberator from the circuit board. Just hooked up to a charger, a 1 amp. See if it'll take any. I'll just go connection breakers and then let's have a look. Yeah, it's 22 volts, a bit high. thought 21 maximum, I had the thought, but it's obviously going somewhere. Okay, I measured the pack voltage standalone outside the board, it's coming up at about 6 volts. So, I don't know, 22 volts does seem a little bit high. Maybe we can check it, do it with another charger, but I'll leave it like that for now and we'll see what happens. I don't know what kind of capacity that battery was, but I'll check it when it's finished, well, when it's charged a bit. Now that's a sign of a knackered battery. Can you see that? It's about 5 minutes later since I did my last bit. 64 milliamps in and it says it's full. 21 volts. Yeah, right. So it's definitely time for a new battery pack. So here it is. I've put a new battery pack in there, 14 cells, 16.8 volts, AA sized. I've also put a, see it in there, it's 2.1 charging jack, so I can use a regular charger. Let's get that out of the way. See if the mains cable will stretch on this charger, just about. Automatic 12 to 24 volts, 500 milliamp charger, so I can stick that in there. So the charging port just goes directly into the battery. Switch that on. It's on red at the moment, just charging. I've already charged this pack up to full, but I'm just making sure that it works. See that LED? That'll turn green. As I said, from the, can I spin that around? That, so I can't use this jack here with a charger. I can only use a power supply, two different things, because this has got diode in there somewhere. So a charger will look for, before it starts charging, it'll look for a voltage on this terminal. I say it's because of the diode on there, it doesn't show a voltage because you can only put the power in, it won't take the power back out to the battery. So hence the new charging jack on that. I've checked with the customer, I told them what I was going to do. He said, yeah, that's fine. So I can screw this back together. Putting this cover back on is probably going to be a pain. I don't know what kind of glue will work to put that back together. So I'll come back to this when it's screwed down and finished. I knew I'd forgotten something. After putting this together, there's a couple of push buttons on here. You can hear relays clicking when you push these. So I don't know if actually you press that button until the red light comes on. The relays are clicking. So I've got no way of testing this to see if it actually works. But that's the best I can do without having the apparatus that it's plugged into. So that's it, all back together, all glued. I've used some of this, yoo-hoo, how's that pronounced? Oohoo or yoo-hoo? Don't know. Never known that. Okay, so, let's see. Ooh, some buttons. Let's try the buttons. Up, relay clicking, down, relay clicking. Don't know what that does, anyway. That's okay. So play, rewind, fast forward. There you go. That works. I've also left this charging port connected up to the battery. I'd look for some of these on eBay. The it's a power supply, not a charger, is plugged into there, and they're all about 70, 100 milliamps, something like that. So probably the reason for that is that you could just leave this kind of battery plugged in, AA's. You can leave it on for weeks, 70 milliamps, just like a trickle charge. But anything larger than that, say 1 amp, the current wouldn't shut down once it's full. Say 1 amp would just boil these batteries. So that's it. Back to customer. Happy days again. Cheerio.